I'm Drake Larsen. We're here at Three Ridges Ecological Farm, which I run with my wife, Sarah, and my daughter. We are near Aylmer, Ontario, which is just on the north shore of Lake Erie. Here on our farm, we have a pasture-based meat and egg operation. We raise chickens, ducks, sheep, cows, pigs, and they're all moving in a dynamic dance across our pastures, which are increasingly include tree aspects. We're raising trees for forage and for fodder and for shade for our animals as well. We have just our 50-acre parcel here. In conventional terms, there's just 30 acres of it that are arable. But of course, we're really trying to push the boundaries of what is sort of productive land and what is set-aside land. And so we are pushing into the 20 acres of woodlands with the grazing animals at times, and then also at the same time expanding those trees out into our productive area. ALUS has helped us on a series of projects over our short time on the farm here. Wetlands, native grassland restoration, and reforestation projects. Those are all great in farm resiliency. And so then that resiliency would be the ability of the farm to thrive in both those drought and flood conditions. This year's been a hard year for grazing at times because there was drought and our grass simply wasn't growing. But I was buffered far more than any of my neighbors because the native prairie plants, they're amazing. They never stopped growing. That stand now is a few years old, and so their roots are deep and they're getting into deep water, probably even just like right kissing that water table. There was no slowdown in the native plants at all. That 7 acres of prairie paddock really saved our rotational grazing system this year. My goal here is not to set up anybody as a future farmer of any sort, but just to set up the land hopefully where it has more perpetual production. Dry years are good for some things, wet years are good for some things. And so we're looking for a template where it's just always productive. The land is just generally thriving. One of the reasons ALUS is so successful is because it's just authentic. It's the farmers that are on the ground and they're doing it. It's great to have a like-minded community that's sort of built up around. And so now I access my ALUS community like they're my friends around here, right? They're the people that I call for. I would encourage anyone to get in contact with the ALUS program and see how it might be able to benefit their farm. Even if it's a very small practice, I feel like every farm has some little area of concern or room for improvement, whether it's a buffer strip or a little erosion point. ALUS is just such a good connection to all the good stuff that's going on in your area. They, hands down, know all the other stakeholders in your area that can come together to help you with the project or answer any other questions. There's a lot to learn when you bring on conservation practices, and so the other farmers in your ALUS community have already started to learn those lessons, and I find they're always open to sharing. A small project can go a long ways. It can both have huge benefits for your farm, can have huge benefits for your community, and it can have huge benefits for biodiversity. ALUS can help you build projects that your community will recognize as good stewardship, and you rightly should be recognized for it because every little bit helps.